Isaac Newton was born on January 4th, 1643, in Woolsthorpe, Lincolnshire, England. His father died 3 months before he was born, and his mother remarried to a wealthy priest. Newton lived with his grandmother and learned to read and write from his great-grandparents. He showed talent in the field of mechanics and engineering since childhood, and was able to make machine models such as clocks and windmills. Newton continued his education at Trinity College, Cambridge, where he learned about various scientists who flourished in the scientific revolution, such as Copernicus, Kepler, and Galileo. He was also interested in alchemy and theology, and wrote philosophical notes. In 1665, there was a plague outbreak in England, and Newton had to return to his home. There, he developed his theories on calculus, gravity, and motion. One of his greatest discoveries was the universal law of gravitation, which states that every object in the universe attracts each other with a force proportional to their mass and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. According to legend, Newton was inspired by an apple that fell from a tree while he was sitting under it. He then wondered if there was a force that pulled the apple to the earth, and if the same force also applied to other objects, such as the moon and the planets. He also used calculus, which was a new branch of mathematics that he created to prove and calculate the gravitational force between celestial bodies. He showed that the universal law of gravitation could explain the motion of the moon around the Earth, the planets around the sun, and the tides of the sea. Another discovery of his was the law of motion, which consists of 3 laws that form the basis of classical mechanics. The first law states that an object at rest will remain at rest, and an object in motion will remain in motion at a constant speed, unless acted upon by a force. To find this law, Newton observed the motion of objects on the surface of the Earth and in outer space. He realized that objects that were not affected by any force would remain at rest or move at a constant speed. He also realized that objects that were affected by a force would experience a change in speed or direction of motion. He then concluded that force was the cause of the change in motion of objects. The second law states that the acceleration of an object is proportional to the force acting on it and inversely proportional to its mass. To find this law, Newton conducted an experiment using a cart that moved on a flat and smooth rail. He measured the acceleration of the cart that was pulled by a rope connected to a weight hanging over a table. He found that the acceleration of the cart was proportional to the weight of the load and inversely proportional to the mass of the cart. He also found that the acceleration of the cart was in the same direction as the force given by the rope. He then formulated the relationship between force, mass, and acceleration with a mathematical equation. The third law states that every force has a reaction force of equal magnitude and opposite direction. To find this law, Newton observed the interaction between 2 objects that collided or pushed each other. He found that each object would exert a force of equal magnitude and opposite direction on the other object. He also found that the forces were always in line with the line connecting the center of mass of the 2 objects. He then stated that the action and reaction forces were always balanced and could not cancel each other out. Newton published his first book, titled Philosophiae Naturalis Principia Mathematica, or Mathematical Principles of Natural Philosophy, in 1687. This book is considered one of the most important scientific works in history, because in it, he systematically explains the laws of nature that govern the motion of objects on Earth and in outer space. This book also contains the universal law of gravitation and calculus, which are new branches of mathematics that he created to solve problems related to change and motion. Newton received many awards and honors for his work. He became a member of the Royal Society, a prestigious scientific organization in England, and even became its president in 1703. He also became a professor of mathematics at the University of Cambridge, and later the head of the Royal Mint. He was also knighted by Queen Anne in 1705 and became one of the first people to be buried in Westminster Abbey, a famous church in London. Isaac Newton died on March 31st, 1727, at the age of 84. He is regarded as one of the most influential scientists and mathematicians in history, and even Albert Einstein once said that he was the smartest person who ever lived on Earth. His discoveries have made a great contribution to the development of science and technology, and paved the way for other scientists to explore the secrets of the universe.